You know what? Here's the problem. If she gets elected, she's under investigation with the FBI right now. If she gets elected, her first 100 days, instead of setting an agenda, she might be going back and forth between the White House and the courthouse. We need to stop that.
Really? Hillary Clinton, the focus. Numerous attacks last night. Joining me right now is Republican presidential candidate, former Florida Governor Jeb Bush. Sir, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks. Great debate last night. You guys did a great job.
Thank you. We tried to stick to the issues.
Yeah.
Your reaction?
I was pleased to be up there and to talk about issues that were important. And back to the Hillary Clinton thing, I don't recall ever in modern times where a candidate is under investigation by the FBI, a leading candidate for the Democrats, and it just like in the world we're in, so it's just ho-hum, no big deal. I think it's a huge deal. She's untrustworthy, and her views are basically a third term for President Obama on national security and economic policy. So the one unifying theme for the people on that stage last night was that we have to defeat her. Yeah,
it sure was. You know, we had Don Baer on earlier. Obviously, he was a speechwriter for her husband, President Clinton, and he basically was saying, look, I didn't see, you know, the kind of leadership that Hillary Clinton will have when she is going to be in the White House, and she's got the experience, and I didn't see the experience. So how do you push back to that core that is Hillary Clinton core supporters that are saying she's the one, it's her turn, and she's got the experience?
Well, look, we're a divided country. She's going to have her support, but the simple fact is independent voters aren't going to want. What's the record of accomplishment here? In the United States Senate, 8 years, 3 bills she sponsored became law, naming a highway, renaming a highway, naming a post office, and naming a monument. And her foreign policy, which is extensive or experience there, it's an experience of failure. Benghazi, just, you know, the Assad's a reformer, the Russian reset, all these things were under her watch, and she was quite proud of them until they just, you know, they exploded into a disaster.
And you have to believe that ISIS actually did get stronger as Hillary Clinton was running the State Department.
Completely. Didn't exist until she started running the State Department. You know how many times she went to Iraq? Well-traveled Secretary of State, most travel ever, I think, in those 4 years. Once. They abandoned the fragile security that existed, and in doing so, both politically and militarily, the void was filled with ISIS. That's the simple fact.
And in terms of her tax plan and your tax plan, this is going to be most important in terms of business and economic growth. We need to see a growth president. Are you it?
I am. And here's the deal. She wants to impose surcharges and more taxes. That's not the approach to create a vibrant economy. What's been missing in this recovery, which is the tragedy, is that there's been no capital investing in our own country. We need to move to a territorial tax code. We need to simplify the code. My proposal's down to 20%. Full expensing of all capital investing. Eliminate all the loopholes so you're not protecting the incumbents. You allow the disruptors to emerge. And that's how you create a more focused approach on high growth on Main Street. Wall Street's going to do fine in any kind of condition. The real economy is what needs to get a jump start, and you do that by basically allowing full expensing of capital investment.
In a general election, you know, the Clinton camp is going to say, look, the Republicans are in the pocket of business. The Republicans are in the pocket of the rich. They want to cut taxes. I'm going to fight for the little guy. What's your response?
Well, the response is always the argument of income inequality needs to be responded by a policy of social and economic mobility. A person near poverty or a person in the middle class that's getting squeezed is not going to benefit by class warfare. They're not going to have a better chance. What we need to do is to create a better economic environment where everybody benefits. Maria, right now, 63% of all Americans can't afford a $500 car repair. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
And it's in the age of Obama that this took place. People feel like the system's not working for them, and they're right. And so changing the system to simplify it, eliminate crony capitalism, focus on the broader issues is the way we go about this.
There are other issues, economic issues, that are front and center. I mean, we are looking at another market meltdown this morning. The market has lost $2 trillion in value just in the first 2 weeks of the year. It's pretty extraordinary. Obviously, people are worried out there. You taking in the Oval Office, what are you going to do about it if when you step into the Oval Office, we're in recession?
So, Maria, first of all, a president needs to be steady. A president needs to have a clear view that's totally transparent. You can't send out a signal of chaos. And this president's not sending signals of safety and security for markets or for people. We need a president that actually has a plan, is prepared to find consensus wherever possible to start solving problems, and sends a signal to the world that the United States is a serious actor on the world stage. The last night, the conversation about China was interesting. China's weakness is being evidenced now. It's not its strength. And the idea that somehow we have to retaliate against China when their system seems to be failing, at least temporarily, they're going to be a long-term challenge to this country. We need to be fully engaged. A president can't just sit back and blame everybody else. They have to lead. And that's what I offer to Republican primary voters, is not only the detailed ideas about how to fix the mess and a proven record to do so, but a president with a steady hand.
Yeah, but I agree. This election is about leadership. There's no doubt about it. But give me the practical steps that you're going to take. We're in recession, 2017, hypothetical. Okay, we got a stock market that's falling out of bed. It continues to melt down right now. What are the practical steps you do to turn this around?
Fight for tax reform, to simplify the code across the board, to put more money in people's pockets, to allow for a broader recovery. And then use the power of the presidency to repeal all of these mind-numbing rules that Obama has placed on industry.
You're talking about regulation.
Absolutely. Whether it's the Waters of the United States, the EPA Clean Power Act, the ozone rule, all of these rules, if they haven't been finalized, they'll be repealed. And we'll begin the process of repealing the ones that are on the books. Create a regulatory budget. Make sure that the economic interests of the country are on equal footing with whatever the social benefits are of rules. Shift power back to the states across the board. Send a signal that we're in business again. Look at the capital investing in this country. It is anemic beyond belief. And for the next president, the first step is have to bring back confidence that investing here matters. Moving to a territorial tax code and bringing back the $2 trillion of cash. There's so much low-hanging fruit to send a signal that America could grow at a faster rate.
Look, you talk about regulation. I want to talk about Obamacare for a second, because time and time again, small business managers, large business managers, they come on this program and they say, yeah, people have saved money at the gasoline pump, but guess what? Their health insurance just went up. So you and your colleagues, you want to repeal Obamacare. What's your alternative?
My proposal, and all these proposals, by the way, for the wonks out there, it's jeb2016.com, because I have the most detailed plans on all this. We need to eliminate the federal exchange, eliminate the employer mandate, employee mandate, all the mandated benefits that bring about these costs, shift this back to the states, allow them to create a more freedom-oriented insurance plan, a requirement of catastrophic coverage and pre-existing condition being the only requirements, and allow people to have choices where they're engaged in their own health care decisions. And
take responsibility for it.
And bring back health savings accounts so that they're rewarded for making healthy lifestyle decisions.
Final question here, Governor. Online, a lot of people saying you had a good night last night. What do you need to do to keep this going? What do you need to do to continue to break out here? Because we know what the polls say. We're 2 weeks away from an important primary. What are you going to do?
I'm going to New Hampshire.
Yeah?
That's where I'm going tonight, and we have 4 town hall meetings.
Why is that so important?
New Hampshire is the first of the nation primary. That's why it's important. People make up their mind late there, just as they do in Iowa and South Carolina. So those 3 states are where I'll spend the next 3 weeks. We have another debate coming up. And as we get closer, people want to know, can you make tough decisions? Have you done it before? There's a lot of people that are really, talented. Look, it was a great debate, a lot of turns of the phrases, but frankly, no one's got the leadership experience that's been proven like I have.
Governor, good to have you on the program.
Thanks, Maria.
We'll be watching.